Yeah, it's the real uncensored Browns fan tuning in after an exciting loss to the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, I was sitting here collecting my thoughts in regards to what I seen yesterday. I was a little saucy yesterday, so it was kind of hard for me to remember everything that happened. But I had to go to the stat sheet to just to familiarize myself. So I did use a little bit of stat sheets. I'm not gonna use them in this video, but I'll maybe talk about or hit to them a little bit. Again, that was an exciting game. Definitely what you want to see out of Monday Night Football. Definitely what you want to see out of us. Same way Lamar Jackson said, it was a dogfight. They came in here and the birds pecked and then they flew away. They flocked away after they hit us with their beak a couple times. Um, Really, I mean, you can't ask as far as the game. We played our ass off. I mean, I know everybody's hurt. Everybody, on their team, everybody's experiencing something, some type of loss, whether player wise due to injuries and through the virus, through sickness or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is experiencing something. So, um, with that said, you can definitely tell that our defense is our secondary specifically is hurting. Missed tackles came to plague us a couple times. You gotta have those stops, those crucial stops, and it's like we couldn't get them. And it was just like we couldn't put them away. We was hanging with them, but we never really put them away like we should have. There's times that we came away with nothing where we should have came at least with some points. Um, I think what was it, exiting the first quarter. I think it was exiting the first quarter. We got the ball back, and we went down the field, and it was like we was gonna act like we was gonna go for it on fourth down. In my opinion, I was like, all right, well, Kevin's doing this because he didn't want to add too much pressure on Cody. Now, if you want to call me a jinx or whatever like that, like in the commercials and stuff, then fine. But when he put him out there, he missed the kick, man, and it was like, you know, you can't. That's unexcusable, man. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Big game, and it's a kicker and shit, and kicking the ball is super hard. I get it, but for us to be that team, us to be the team that everybody wants to believe, and then we kind of like we know that we are, but we gotta show it. It was like in that moment we didn't show we was that team because it got to be under all phases. Special teams is not excluded. You gotta get those kicks, man. I mean, am I calling for his job right now? No, obviously, like it's hard to find a good kicker, but and it's hard to find a Phil Dawson. I know, I get it. But with that said, it just shows you how important a Phil Dawson is. Now, how often are you gonna find that? Like you might not ever. We might not ever. It might be another 3, 4 generations until we find a Phil Dawson. But nonetheless, we can't put this all on Cody because we should have scored points. Period. We should have scored touchdowns, and it's the offense looked good as far as passing, but Baker did drop back at least 47 times at the end of the game, and he dropped back a whole lot. What I was seeing was that we used the running game in the red zone, but we really didn't use the run game throughout the game until the fourth quarter. That was fine. That was cool. I get that because it's like we know that we got the run game. We know we got that on lock. So it was like, all right, can we pass our way to win games? Which we were hanging in with them. But like I said, we never really put them away. And then us not putting them away was just, at first we was doing our job. You know what I'm saying? Frustrating Lamar. Lamar was getting frustrated. penalties was getting called our way. You know, we was getting the respect. Everything was working out for us until we couldn't put them away. When we couldn't put them away, it was like by then the refs was like, all right, Browns, we can't help you no more. Y'all got to help yourselves. And we really didn't. Like I said, it was really between the missed kicks, man. I mean, that's 4 points, you know, just wiped away. That was the same 4 points that we could have won by. I mean, obviously they had that safety at the end, but they really just won it by a field goal. So, you know, I mean, and like I said, the injuries in our secondary, Denzel not being out there, I definitely think would have made it better. And I mean, like, I get it, like, everybody's hurt. So as a team, we needed to step up. As a team, we didn't get it done. So it was a good team loss. As far as Stefanski coached a great game. I definitely believe that he was like he was coaching his ass off. I tip my hat off to him. But these are the situations where I'm talking about, where it's like, to call him coach of the year and all this other stuff, you know, it's hard to make that argument definitively. You know, I can definitely say I'm impressed with what he did with our team and what he's done, you know, and give him credit and a lot of praise, because he didn't have, you know, he didn't have an off season. You know what I'm saying? He was in an unprecedented situation. Got this team to be 9-3 when we thought that's what they should have been last year. Or we're 9-4 now, so you know, we should have been like that last year. You know, our window, if you will, you know, being open and stuff like that. Like we needed to have this stuff to go on already. But you know, you blame that on John Dorsey if you want. I mean, I can, because I mean, you hire Freddie Kitchens and then call Baker Mayfield and ask him to make a decision. Like, of course he gonna, you know what I'm saying, not be a hater and say, oh yeah, don't give me Freddie Kitchens. You know, he already got a relationship with him. Why would he hate on him? But I mean, that's, like I said, John Dorsey's not here no more. He got us some great players out of Nick Chubb, Denzel, Baker, Mac, man. I mean, that's my guy. You gotta make those tackles though. Like, you know, that was a big touchdown that he gave up, because that was the beginning of it. I think that was the way that they pulled away with the league, and it was like from there we was playing catch up. It was like, I don't think not once. Well, we did lead in the end, and then it was like we left him too much time. We left him way too much time in the end, and Lamar Jackson did that. It was like in the beginning, the defense played well. We shut down his passing lanes. We shut down the middle of the field, but then it was like, eventually he started to find the open areas. They started to find the open areas of the field that we just couldn't cover, and not even just like passing wise, but with his legs. And I mean, we made him work for that game. Like, Lamar Jackson had to work his ass off. I know that dude was tired at the end of the game. I know he was fucking dog ass tired. But then again, you know, you have 2 weeks off. It's like, you know what I'm saying, you should be able to pull that. You just had two weeks off, you know what I'm saying, just straight up resting. You know what I mean? Your body should be a little bit more healthier and ready for this type of run that y'all got to make, you know what I mean? So, I mean, after today's game, he should definitely be tired going in for the next opponent. Like, we definitely wore that ass out. I mean, he had to almost combine for 300 yards of offense all on his own, but I guess that's what their team is built around. But that's what it takes for them. I mean, all right, besides the first game, in the first game, you don't really want to count. I don't know why everybody always want to talk about, and that's another thing, too. I mean, I'm going to finish it on this. Between my quarterback and then Lamar Jackson, they always want to do this shit with us, all right? So, watching Marcellus Wiley show and everything like that, I don't understand how, you know, we just take a look at numbers and we don't factor in everything else about the game. You know, well, let me say this. Baker Mayfield is our quarterback, and I still would have picked him first because of what he's done to this team. Look up, we're 9-4, we're ahead in the playoffs, okay? And let's be honest, okay, when you the first overall pick, what does that usually mean? What does that mean, guys? I mean, you going on to the worst team that year, that previous year that just played. You going to the worst team. When you're the 32nd pick, what does that usually mean? That means you're going to a team that pretty much got it together. Now, although they had 2 picks that year, but nonetheless, they wasn't picking top 10 like we was. So, who went into a more stable situation? You know, which quarterback out of Lamar and Baker, y'all tell me this. Which quarterback had only one coach, one system, and he just go in and fill it? Maybe study 2 playbooks. Now, which quarterback had 3 head coaches, 3 new systems, and went on to a losing team on top of that? I think Baker needs to get a lot more credit than what is being thrown to him because he had to work with a lot less. Lamar went into a team that was already stable, that had already won the Super Bowl within the past 10, 15 years. You know what I mean? So it's to sit up here and be like, well, Baker's not playing like a number one. I mean, he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's turning his franchise around, like he said, although, like I said, it's not all by itself, but he is a big, pivotal part of it. He's been a starter ever since then. He's been starting more. He played more games than Lamar. He had to be thrown in the fire. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, he had to be thrown in the fire, but it was pouring gasoline on him by switching how many coaches that he had. And he's still making it through, and we still winning. So, like, you know, I just get upset because it's like they look at the numbers and then they say, oh, well, you know, he doesn't throw passing touchdowns. He throws passing touchdowns against sorry teams. And, I mean, he had passing touchdowns against this team. I think he had, well, no, he didn't. They was rushing. It was like basically everything was like a rushing touchdown. I think, yeah. It was crazy. It was like we was scoring nothing but rushing touchdowns. And I mean that, which is cool, but but he played a pretty good passing game. I mean, not really great, 50%, less than 50%, I think. So I guess I'll take that back. Maybe not the best, but it wasn't as a whole, as an eye work where it was just like we need to stop passing. You know, I just assumed that we weren't passing because we were gonna save the run game to the fourth quarter or just dominate the fourth quarter with the run, which we kind of were, but it was just, like I said, it wasn't enough. We gave them enough time to come back, and that's how it happened. It was like those kicks, those missed kicks that eventually came back to bite us. But then, like I said, we can't put it all on Cody because we should have scored touchdowns. But, you know, with Chief missing that in the end zone, I mean, like, that's something that you kind of get with Chief. It's like you can either have him make a play for sell out for his team where it's just like the most amazing play, or, you know, it could get to that where it's like he kind of put it on the money. You should have had that, but at the same time, like, you know, normal human shit is like, all right, that's okay, but we would prefer for you to have that catch. We would rather have you made a big play on that and then you really be the Chief. And then you know, just, I mean, we were dropping ball, like, you know, Higgi, he dropping, you know, fumbling and stuff like that. And, I mean, it was just like, it was a really hard-fought game overall. I mean, what does this say about my team? What is it? I mean, the coach of the year and all that other stuff, like I said, it's really hard to make an argument for him now. You know, if he had beat Coach Kev would have beat the Ravens, then absolutely you got super strong talks as far as him coach of the year. And you can still talk about how amazing job that he did, and nobody's taking anything away from that. It's just these are the games that matter, and these are the games where it's like it would have been nice where we could finally put a motherfucker out. You know what I'm saying? Where we can be the ones where it's like, we ruined y'all season. And to Lamar's credit, he wasn't going to go out like that. I mean, he went out, came back in. I mean, that's like regular ESPN shit. He's like, all right, I'm hurt, blah, blah, blah. Here I come back, Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? And you just go out and play, I guess, man. Play like he did, and you give him credit for that. You know, I know I had a lot of trash talk talking about getting inside his head, and we were getting inside his head. But you know, him going in and out of the game, maybe him cooling off, maybe cooling off his mind or something like that. He was able to get back refocused, and he did what he needed to do to will his team to win. And you know, Ravens fans, they should be cool. They should be happy with that. And I mean, Browns fans, should we be happy with this? I mean, it was an exciting game. We should be happy that it was an exciting game, but I'm definitely bummed out about this loss. So it's, I mean, there's really much more, not more that I could say, because like I said, I'm trying to remember everything that really stand out to me, and it really was just that. It came down to, like I said, just the execution, the lack of execution when it needed to, when we needed to fucking put our foots on their throat and just be like, and just sink these motherfuckers in water, like let them just drown, and while we walk away, you know what I'm saying? And we never did. We allowed them to have air. We allowed them to have breathing room, and when they was able to rise up and take the lead, they did, and we had an answer, but it just wasn't enough. It was, you know, the coaching, man. You got to beat these coaches, and I mean, this team. I mean, hey, like I said, we started from the bottom more, even though we got all this talent, but we missing out. I mean, we missing O also. So, you know, I think this would have definitely been a game where O would have been beneficial. I feel. I don't know. I mean, some people could disagree, but I definitely think had O played this game, it could have made a difference. It definitely could have made a difference. Not shitting on any of our receivers, but I'm just saying that it we needed just one more playmaker on offense to just get this shit, like I said, to put them away. But you know, shout outs to the Ravens. They whooped us. They got us, you know, in the end, and they ain't whoop us, but they got us in the end. And you know, shit, we can't even say next year or next time. Well, we might see him again in the playoffs. Who knows? We'll see how that works out. I'm over here shaking this camera and shit. Let me fuck around quick. Messing with this. My bad, y'all. The realest, it's a Browns fan. Peace.